Mars. You know, for decades, it has been the absolute ultimate frontier of human imagination. Welcome to this explainer, where we're going to unpack the genuinely shocking scientific discoveries hidden on the red planet. We're going from what looks like a completely frozen wasteland on the surface, all the way to the very real blueprints being drawn up for humanity's ultimate backup plan. We are peeling back the layers of our closest planetary neighbor today, because the data we're getting right now, it's literally rewriting our understanding of the solar system, and ultimately, it completely redefines our own future.
So, did life really exist on Mars? I mean, that's the ultimate question, right? It's the core mystery that has completely absorbed billions of dollars in international space budgets. It's driven decades of relentless research and fueled the creation of absolute engineering marvels like the Perseverance and Curiosity rovers. Because we aren't just looking for cool rocks up there, we are looking for our own biological origins. So today, let's dive into the actual evidence and see what the hard scientific data is really telling us about a planet that might have once looked a whole lot like Earth.
Section 1. The Red Dead Planet.
Okay, before we can even talk about ancient microbes or future human settlements, we really have to establish the harsh reality of Mars today. Here on Earth, we benefit from this incredibly powerful, protective magnetic field. It's generated by our planet's spinning, molten core, and it acts like this giant, invisible, dynamic shield wrapping around our world, just bouncing destructive solar winds and cosmic rays right back into space. Mars, on the other hand, well, it lost its internal heat billions of years ago. Its core just stalled out, and because it lacks that magnetic field, its atmosphere was left completely vulnerable to the harshness of space and was brutally stripped away by solar winds over the millennia.
And with that atmosphere or that magnetic shield, the surface is literally a death trap. It is constantly bombarded by a relentless stream of direct solar radiation and high-energy cosmic rays. We are talking about exposure levels so intense that over time, they would cause severe cellular decay and irreversible brain cell damage to any unprotected human. No way around it. Add in the fact that the atmospheric pressure is pretty much near a vacuum, and then factor in these colossal planet-wide dust storms that can literally block out the sun for months at a time, and the reality becomes incredibly clear. The surface of Mars is, for sure, one of the most hostile environments in the entire solar system.
Section 2. Alien Faces and Martian Myths.
You know, human imagination has a funny way of trying to soften those harsh scientific realities. Back in 1976, the NASA Viking 1 orbiter was mapping the Martian surface when it captured an image of the Cydonia region. And in that low-resolution photo, there was this massive rock formation that looked exactly like a giant human face, just staring right back up at the cosmos. In the decades before we had high-definition satellite imagery, this single photograph allowed the public's imagination to just run wild. It sparked these endless pervasive pop culture theories about an ancient alien civilization carving giant monuments into the Martian dust.
But the reality actually comes down to a phenomenon known as pareidolia. This is the powerful psychological tendency of the human brain to see familiar patterns, especially human faces, in totally random visual data. It's basically an evolutionary survival mechanism, because our ancestors needed to quickly spot faces hiding in the brush. When later missions, like the Mars Global Surveyor, returned with much higher resolution cameras, well, the face was clearly revealed to be nothing more than a natural mesa. Actually, scratch that alien theory, it was just human psychology, low-angle shadows, and eroded rock formations playing tricks on us.
Section 3. The Secret Underground World.
So, we're pivoting now from those early surface myths to the real, scientifically shocking discoveries happening right now, hidden entirely out of sight. Scientists have been completely stunned to find that Mars is actually not entirely dry. Deep below the frozen, cracked surface, specifically beneath the southern polar ice caps, researchers have discovered massive amounts of liquid water. And we aren't just talking about ancient, frozen ice. We are talking about a hidden, briny, subglacial liquid world. Trapped under a mile of ice, this water is completely protected from all that deadly radiation up above, just preserved in the absolute darkness. The absolute game-changer in this discovery was a massive 38% hydrogen signal detected by the Trace Gas Orbiter. And get this reading didn't come from the poles, it came from the Valles Marineris, which is essentially the Grand Canyon of Mars. When you detect hydrogen concentrations that massive spanning an area literally the size of the Netherlands, it strongly indicates vast amounts of subsurface water locked away in minerals or ice just below the dust. It completely changes the calculus of our planetary exploration, because where there is massive liquid water, there's incredible biological potential. Let's synthesize these clues for a second, like a giant puzzle. We've located massive liquid water reserves. We've got that incredible 38% hydrogen signal. Furthermore, orbiters have photographed giant skylights, which are collapsed ceilings of massive, ancient lava tubes,
plunging deep into the dark crust. Plus, there are trace fluctuations of methane gas slowly seeping out from the underground. All of these elements weave together to form this highly credible, super-dramatic scientific argument. As the surface of Mars died and lost its atmosphere billions of years ago, any surviving microbial life would have naturally migrated downward, seeking warmth, water, and protection in a vast, secret underground world.
Section 4. Surviving the deadly surface.
It turns out this underground world isn't just a cool place to look for ancient microbes. It is the absolute key to our own future on the planet. Because the surface is a radioactive nightmare of dust storms and cellular decaying energy, the only logical solution for human settlement is to go down. Future colonists are going to have to utilize those giant volcanic skylights in deep caves. Just imagine what it will feel like for those first pioneers, living inside vast, silent lava tubes, relying entirely on hundreds of feet of solid basalt rock above them, acting as the ultimate natural shield against the hostile vacuum of space.
Section 5. Humanity's Ultimate Backup Plan.
This completely shifts our perspective from viewing Mars as just a dead rock to viewing it as a massive opportunity for human expansion. And listen, this is not science fiction, it's a literal roadmap being actively pursued right now. The logistical hurdles are obviously monumental, starting with the sheer challenge of reaching Mars. But organizations like SpaceX are deep into the engineering of massive starships designed to cross millions of miles of the void. Upon arriving, the immediate race is going to be to secure and seal those giant underground skylights to establish a base camp safe from the surface radiation. Over decades, that initial foothold could expand into establishing deep, long-term, self-sustaining subterranean cities.
So, what should you really take away from this explainer? It's the high-stakes reality of human civilization. Humans absolutely must become a multi-planet species. Think about it. Right now, every single achievement, every piece of art, and every living human is isolated on one single, fragile sphere. We are a single point of failure against asteroids, ecological collapse, or cosmic anomalies. Having a second option, an ultimate backup plan, is absolutely vital for the long-term survival of consciousness in the universe. Mars, with its hidden waters, trapped resources, and deep geological sanctuaries, offers the closest and most viable second option we have.
We know the science, we fully understand the deadly threats of the Martian surface, we've literally found the underground caves offering a natural sanctuary, and the rockets designed to take us there are actively being built and tested today. The technological capability is well within our grasp. But is humanity truly ready, psychologically and societally, to execute this monumental backup plan and officially become a multiplanetary species? Think about that the next time you look up at the night sky. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and keep asking those big questions.